address of 26104 Rainier Square / Tower. It's going to be concrete, traffic control only. No options at this point in time. Traffic control, so this work is going to be this section of sidewalk and this section of sidewalk down to where the building ends, about right down here, and then there's a new building going in. I'll show you all that in a moment. So concrete's right there. There's multiple street trees. They will all stay. I'll show you those. Permits, we'll have to get our standard street use permit. Ingress, egress, not super applicable. We will have to stage along the curb with no parks. So this street is one way headed east, and this street is one way headed south. I'll show you all the lay of the land. This street is 3 lanes, maybe it's 4. 3 lanes with no parking. This is parking, 2 lanes, parking. Working hours will be Monday through Friday during normal business hours. Phasing however long it took us, but there's a lot of finish work involved. I'll give you the dimensions. It's actually pretty simple. I'm going to give you the dimensions now, then show you the lay of the land. It's pretty noisy outside my vehicle. So C1 is going to be this whole run. C2 is going to be this whole run. And it'll make a lot more sense here in a moment. C1, 152 by 15. Seattle Square. We are going to have to take out, there's multiple areas for the trees and some existing ADAs. So 16 feet by 8 feet, or 4 by 4, which is 16 feet, and there's 8 of them, so we have to take out 128 square feet. C2 is going to be 50 by 12 plus 52 by 15. Total 4 inches. All finished, Seattle Square. Okay, so this busy corner is 5th Avenue and University Street. 5th Ave, as I mentioned, 3 lanes, runs straight south. C1 is this long run right here. C2 is this long run right here. And as you can see, you've got parking, 3 lanes of traffic, and parking. Now, this parking has a sign and it has yellow curb loading zone. But I would think that we could get a no park because they got that street closed. So, and of course this would all take place, that new building, they're supposed to be out of this area by February 1st or so. But it could be that if they get it all worked out that they would do half of this and then do the other half later. So I'm assuming with traffic control we could just, put up all the applicable warnings and just take a lane for a while. Now, one thing that I'm not sure of, and I told the Aaron with Wright Runstead that I don't know if the inspector will allow these ADA ramps. I am going to bid assuming that the city inspector will allow that. However, I'm also going to get a meeting set up, find the inspector for this area and meet him down here and say, hey, will you allow this to stay? Because this is not cracked. As long as I'm on this side. We're planning on going from the curb, top of curb, back to the wall of the building. So you can see. And they want to redo this and redo right to there. Go to the building. Go to the building. They got rebar showing here. They got rebar showing here. and go to the what would be the west edge of that column and do this in here. So we've got sorry, make it 9. Got 9 areas 4x4. They must have destroyed a street tree. You know, I can't tell, so we'll just leave the 8 areas as street trees. We'll just work around them. I don't really see any damage to the curb and gutter. So also the other ADA ramp is here, and I told the guy, well, if they would want you to make it more on the corner, you'd have to get Trevor Stiff to design this, because you got the manhole, you got a vault, kind of outside my range. And on this for C1, we'd go right there to that expansion joint, to the top of curb. None of these tree rings are lifted up or damaged to the point where we are going to have to cut some roots, so put in arborist wait time. You can see there we'll have to cut some roots, and we'll have to cut some roots here. But the roots aren't bad, and the rings, I think we can finish to them. And as you can see, we want to go from there down to top of curb. Tire length. And we'll come down and match this existing. Now, this finish, I am not sure if this finish, I mean, I haven't run into this before. I don't know if this is, it must be allowed. It looks fairly new. So this is all broom finish with no shine. And the spaces on the expansion joints are varying depending upon how the terrain undulated. But right now, I'm going to assume this has to be Seattle Square. I will also ask the inspector about that. But again, we go right to there. And we will have to fix... this 45 feet of curb and gutter. So, deep saw cut, run along the street, pour our curb and gutter, and then 2 inches of asphalt for the 45 feet, and just make it 2 foot out. I don't know when this will get fixed, but quite the utility trench. Okay. That's all I can think of at the moment. Call me with any questions. Thank you. Oh! He is going to get me some kind of detail. He said somewhere in here there is, going near the 5th Ave, there's some kind of tunnel that goes underneath the street. I told him, well, we're just going to bid 4 inches, and we're going to exclude anything underneath that. If it opens up a can of worms, that's going to be a change order. But he is going to try and give me some kind of detail as to how deep, what's underneath this concrete, and when does that tunnel begin. Okay.